What is up, guys? So in this video I'm going to be showing you all the new mounts coming in 11.1.5. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, the first one on the list is the Tyranno-Tort, which is pretty cool. A little tortoise. I love the detail of the flames coming out of his mouth and the iron jaw. It's just a really cool looking mount. The tail's pretty cool as well. The armor on it, but yeah. And this mount is going to drop from the Dastardly Duos event. The next mount on our list is the Radiant Imperial Lynx. This is going to drop from a vendor in Hollowfall. This mount has some great detailed features. I love the helmet on it and the way the points come down to make it look like a saber tooth. I also love the shoulder armor on this mount, and it's a great color. And the ears, the Lynx ears are awesome. I also love the facial features where it looks cute, but at the same time could rip your face off if it wanted to. Just something about it, I love it. Alright, let's look at the next one. The next mount is the Void Scarred Lynx. Basically a different color lynx than the last one we just looked at. This one has the same iconic helmet and shoulder armor, just in a different color. And this one also has a void aura around it. You can see it coming from its shoulders and its mouth. Now, this mount will drop from a confiscated cultist bag, and I really like the color on this one as well. Next up is the Lava-born Azure Chimera, one of 4 chimeras that are on the list. Now, these are listed as being dropped from the trading post. However, that might not be the case where we're still early into the PTR. I love the blue effect coming off the wings and tail of this mount. It looks so good. Next up, we have the Lava-born Citrine Chimera. It is just a recolor of the last mount, and it is one of 4. This one also looks really good, as you can see the flames coming off the wings and the tail. Just a solid looking mount. And again, most of the mounts on this list say their source drop is going to be the trading post. But again, when PTR goes live, it might not be on the trading post. It might be coming from a different source. But we'll know more once the patch gets closer. Next up, we have the Lava-born Emerald Chimera. Now, you can see on this one, the green really pops. I love this color green. You can see the green around its neck and around its wings, around its tail. Now, all 4 of these mounts have the effect of color around their heads, but it's more pronounced on this mount than any other one. I don't know if it's just the color that pops or what it is, but I really like the shoulder armor as well. Next up, we have the Lava-born Ruby Chimera. Nice red. All 4 of the colors on this mount are really good. They're just fantastic. They all look good in their own way. And even though they're just recolors, they're 4 different recolors, they all look different, if that makes sense. Like, the colors really define them. Next up, we have the Void Crystal Panther. This is going to be a jewel crafted mount. This is a throwback. To me, it looks like a throwback of the old Mr. Pandaria jewel crafting mounts. They were really great when they came out, and this just looks like it's paying homage to those mounts. But jewel crafters will be making another mount. The next mount on our list is going to be the Corruption of the Aspects. This mount looks great. The helmet armor on this mount is amazing. The overall look of it, the way it flows, is really nice. This mount is going to be a vendor bought mount from Dornegal. I really like the chest scales on this mount. The attention to detail on it is amazing. The shoulder armor, again the helmet, and the rear haunch armor as well. This is a great looking mount, and I love the color. Next up, we have the Nesting Swarmite. Now, with the launch of 11.1.5, Blizzard will be relaunching Horrific Visions. These visions were in BFA, and Blizzard is going to bring them back for the next patch. This is one of the mounts that's going to drop from them. Next up, we have the Nyalothan Shadow Worm. Now this is a recolor of one of the mounts that you could get from the Horrific Visions. Now this mount, it is saying that it's going to drop from a meta achievement. I'm assuming it's going to be around the Horrific Visions. That would be my guess, but we won't know again until the patch gets closer. I really like the jawline on this mount, as well as the fact that the reins are right at the corner of its mouth. The attention to detail on this mount is really good. The next one on our list, and perhaps my most favorite, is the Voidfire Death Cycle. Yes, it's another motorcycle, and like we say, we can never have enough motorcycles in the game. I love the colors. I love the void purple color coming off the back of the wheels and off the front wheel. It's just a great looking mount, and if you can notice, you can see the void flames coming out of the eyeballs of this motorcycle. I love it. I'm gonna collect it. Gotta have it. This is my favorite mount by far, but I want you guys to tell me in the comments which one on this list is your favorite, which one you have to have. Next up, we have the Void Scarred Griffin. Now, Griffins have a special place in my heart, being my first mount ever in World of Warcraft. So Griffins always have a place in my collection. Now, this mount will drop from the Horrific Visions, and with it being Void Scarred, you can see the void coming from its chest and beak, which is a really cool touch to this mount. It's very simple, but very nice looking. I also like the beak setup on this mount as well. Next up, we have the Void Scarred Pack Mother. This mount will also drop from the Horrific Visions. Now, I am not sure if the Griffin and this mount are going to be Alliance and Horde only, or if Alliance and Horde are going to be able to collect both of them, but we won't know until the patch gets closer. With this mount being Void Scarred, there are voids coming out of this mount's chest as well as its mouth, which is a really cool effect. I really like the attention to detail on the saddle as well. Next up, we have the Void Forged Stallion. This is a really unique mount. It's very simple. It has the void effect coming off its chest and from its nose, which I really appreciate. I also like the armor on its legs, but it's overall it's a very simple mount. There's not a lot going on with it, but the void breath is really, it looks good on this mount. This mount is going to drop again from the Horrific Visions, and I don't know if you can see, but the eyes on this horse, I absolutely love the eyes on this horse as well. Just a good looking mount. Next up, we have the Void Scarred Windrider. Now, this mount also drops from Horrific Visions. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be the Horde version, where the Stallion is going to be the Alliance version, but again, we won't know until the patch gets closer. This mount as well has the void coming from his chest and his breath. The eyes are just amazing on this mount. I really also love the saber teeth as well as the horns on this mount as well. Next up, we have the brown furred spiky Bakar mount. Now, this mount again is sourced to drop from the trading post, but again, we won't know if that is true until the patch gets closer. This mount is a very similar mount to a one you could get in Dragonflight for completing a big meta achievement. So if you missed out on that, you'll be able to get this mount as well. It's very similar, not quite the same, but very similar. Next up, we have the most cutest mounts on this list. There are 4 of them. This is the first one, the Summer Harvest Hog. Now, again, it says it's coming from the trade post as a source, but we won't know. This mount is completely adorable, and the detail on this mount is incredible. It's got leaves in its fur. It's got a leaf as a saddle. It's got a couple of baskets on each side holding fruits and vegetables, and the mount itself looks like it's smiling at you. You can't help but laugh when you look at this mount. It's just adorable. Next up, we have the Autumn Harvest Hog. Now, this is a different color than the last one, but it's still just as adorable. And this one also comes with baskets and a watering can. It's even got a little shovel on the back side there. It's completely adorable. And again, the facial features from any angle make it look like it's smiling at you, which is awesome. I love it. Next up is the winter harvest hog, and this one again is just as adorable. It's got the belt around its waist, and I really love the attention to detail of the leaf as the saddle. It's just, they're cute little mounts. They're unique, so everybody's gonna want them. I want them. The last of the harvest hogs is the spring harvest hog. Again, it's just another recolor, but still just as adorable, and I still want them. I'm thinking that the fell cycle just fell to second to these mounts. I think these are my new favorite, but let me know in the comments, what do you think? And that leads us to the last mount on our list, and that is the spotted black riding goat. Now this mount is pretty unique. I love the bell around its neck and the baskets on its haunches. The saddle looks good, the horns look good, the fur looks good. It's a good looking mount. I mean, it's not the best on this list, but it's still a mount. And that's all the mounts coming in 11.1.5. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite, which one you're going for. I know which one I'm going for. I'm going for the hedgehogs because they are adorable. But anyway, that's it. Until next time, see ya.